Our last single image edit is called the Unsharp mask. This is very important. You cannot do this until you're 100% done editing the overall image. Like any other edits you need to do need to happen now before this step. Otherwise, you're going to have to redo it later. And the reason for that is that the Unsharp mask just fixes all of those tiny little pixels and it makes them nice and sharp. So if you go back and edit them later, you're going to see that the overall image was photoshopped, and we want to avoid that as much as we can. So I highly recommend, again, duplicating the background layer just to keep that layer preserved. And then you go up to filter and then sharpen, and it is the Unsharp mask. Now this is important. The amount should never exceed 200%. So never, ever, ever get up and over here. And this right here gives you a nice little preview. So you can see how those pixels get softer and or more defined as that amount increases. This image was shot on film and it's scanned. So all those tiny little dots you see are not pixels, but actual film grain. So that doesn't really bother me super much. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a light amount. The radius should never exceed 1.3. So I'm just going to tap that up just a tiny little bit. And then your threshold should be between 4 and 6. So for this image in particular, I don't see a huge difference. So I'm just going to tap it lightly at 4 and then apply. And as we zoom in, we can see when we toggle back and forth the difference between the two. Now, when you go and save, because now we're totally done, we're editing, our Unsharp mask has been applied. We're going to save as. So this is last name, first name, and then whatever the name of the project is. Just call this project name. And then I would recommend saving both files. So I'm going to go to my photo one. This happens to be a first quarter project. So I would always save it as a Photoshop file, and then in addition, save it as the final JPEG. Now the final JPEG I would also label with an S at the very end, so that way I know that that has the unsharpened mask applied to it. Because again, I don't want to go back into this JPEG and try to edit it after the fact, because the JPEG will compress all of those layers, and I won't know maybe if I edit this in a couple days or a couple weeks that I applied the unsharpened mask to it. So the S lets me know, hey, don't edit this file, go back to the Photoshop file so I can edit that one and then resave that as another JPEG. And then you always hit save, and then make sure that you are set to maximum, and then okay.